So, the news we have been waiting for. Michael Duff has announced that he will be leaving Cheltenham Town this summer as manager to pursue opportunities elsewhere. Obviously, we do know that is most likely Barnsley. Obviously, it's a massive appointment by Barnsley, and it's certainly the right one for them in a big season at Oakwell. Obviously, with them looking to return to the Championship. Definitely a manager that can get teams up into the above division without much finances at his disposal, which is ideal for Barnsley. Like I say, for them to have good finances, they need to shift off a few of their higher paid players going into this season, so he's the perfect appointment for them, and Barnsley fans are certainly in for a treat with this man. Obviously, it is a dark day for Cheltenham. 4 years with Michael Duff. Obviously, he leaves now, obviously, after being a club legend as a player and now a club legend as a manager. And in those 4 years, he has done so much for the club, brought in plenty of new faces when it comes to players, completely changed up the play style, and it has obviously worked, evidently. Looking at how we've gone from bottom end of League 2 to mid-table League 1. And it's an incredible change with the finances that he did have at his disposal. And it's probably right that he does move on, and I think the timing is probably right. Maybe it could have come a bit earlier, with us obviously looking to set up for next season with the transfer window now upon us, with pre-season coming up quite shortly in July. It would have been more ideal if he had departed earlier and we would have known more about it. However, with talks breaking down, talks being stalled due to various reasons, it's understandable why it has taken this long. David Bloxham, the chairman, did say in the statement earlier today that it's a disappointing day for Cheltenham Town, but he does leave with our very best wishes for the future. So, a nice farewell from him, nice touch. All the fans feeling the same, wishing him all the best. No toxic behaviour, no sourness about this departure. We all knew it was going to happen, and we have only love for him, unlike the departure of another manager from another Gloucestershire club earlier on this summer. But anyways, he took charge of the club in September 2018 after the departure of Gary Johnson after a poor start to our League 2 campaign that season. Obviously, the season after that, leading Cheltenham to the playoffs in the 2019-20 campaign, only to fall just short at the second last hurdle at Wadden Road, losing 3-0 to Northampton in the playoff semi-final after a 2-0 win away from home at Northampton, of course. Unfortunately, meaning that we did stay in League 2 for another season. However, it was almost a blessing in disguise for us Cheltenham fans, because the season after we did pick up our first ever league football title. We did win the League 2 title on the last day after a 4-1 win against Harrogate, queuing absolute scenes. The players were loving it, the fans were loving it, even Duffo was going absolutely mental, and that was a great day in the history of Cheltenham Town Football Club, thanks to him. And of course then, leading us into the League 1 campaign, having brought back familiar faces of Elliot Bonds, Owen Evans and Callum Wright, obviously keeping key players from the League 2 campaign, other than Ben Tozer departing after 3 or 4 games into the League 1 season, which didn't prove to be a massive issue. We did start to, concede a few more goals, however, we scored more at the other end, despite the loss of the long throw, which people didn't think. As soon as Ben Tozer left, people were putting us down for relegation, and look what happened. We finished 15th, and what another incredible season in the history of the club. The club's highest ever league finish, which is absolutely incredible, and a credit to the style that he has implemented at the club. The coaching behind the scenes, everything that goes on under his command has been absolutely incredible, and we can only wish him the best. Now, of course, the main question is, where do we go from here? Who will be the next manager of Cheltenham Town? And in truth, no one knows. Obviously, the odds at this stage are very broad. We will be going through them now. However, like I say, they are very, very generic, and it is unlikely that any managers will even be in contention for the job, because they are just pure guesses, pure stabs in the dark. We have no intel yet, other than Russell Milton will be staying on as interim head coach over the summer period in the meantime, while the club do search for a new manager. Obviously, I think it's the 4th time that he's been played in that role, and credit to him for sticking at the club, because obviously he was at the club as a player. He's got Cheltenham in his blood, so fair play to the lad, and hopefully we can kick on a bit now and start implementing some plans, at least ahead of pre-season, but I'd like to see us start, trying to look at making some signings, because we are drastically behind compared to some other clubs in the league in this transfer window, especially with obviously most of our squad, or most of the key players in our squad, being loan players last season, with the likes of Callum Wright, Matty Pollock, etc. Keon Atete also, key players that we have lost due to their loans running out. So we do need to get back onto the whole transfer window issue. But who will be the next manager of Cheltenham Town? Let's dive into the odds now. So, the current odds to become Cheltenham Town's next manager, like I say, these are very broad, so some names in here are absolutely outrageous to say that they are linked with Cheltenham. However, we will be going through a few of the names. So, odds on favourite currently at 4-1. Michael Appleton, obviously ex-Lincoln City, departing in April 2022. Obviously, a decent manager, certainly one that we could look at, a nice experienced manager as well, potentially good at this level, proved previously, so that could be a good option for us to go for. Second favourite, Gary Caldwell, not happening. Darren Ferguson also sitting at 6-1, joint second favourite, obviously ex-Peterborough. We did play against him at the start of the 2020-21 campaign in the Carabao Cup, obviously beating them 1-0 away from home. That is Peterborough, of course. He was sacked in February of this year. Tony Mowbray, fourth favourite once again. Just not really going to happen. Obviously, ex-Blackburn. It's just not happening. Fifth favourite, Chris Beach. That says it all, doesn't it? That shows that this list is just absolutely outrageous. Chris Beach does not like Cheltenham, and we don't really like him. Joint on odds with him, Simon Grayson, obviously ex-Fleetwood. David Artell, another one who could be in the mix potentially, sitting at 10-1, maybe one of the more likely candidates for the job. But once again, it's nothing to go off these odds. I'm just mentioning the names that the bookies have said. Michael Carrick sits at 10-1. Extremely unlikely that he'll be the face of Whaddon Road next season, and I highly doubt that it will happen. However, the bookies somehow think that it's a possibility. Jonathan Woodgate, obviously previously of Bournemouth, sits at 12-1. Same with Kenny Jackett, Paul Tisdale. These are all very generic managers' names, just thrown in there because they're not in a job and they've previously managed many clubs, or at least a few of them. So yeah, it's nothing really to go by. But take of those odds what you will. Who will be the next Cheltenham manager? Who knows? Feel free to comment down below who you want to see as the next Cheltenham manager. I certainly have my favourites. If I was to go for one myself, it would be Michael Flynn. Obviously, he is currently manager of Walsall. It's very unlikely that we would get him, especially now with the Walsall takeover, with much more finances at his disposal. Can the League One football prize him away? Potentially. He's been on the verge of it with Newport twice now, getting them to playoff finals and losing at Wembley. Potentially, that's the only thing we've got to give. However, the finances at his disposal now should be enough to push him into the upper division. But he's a fantastic manager, and I would love to see him at Whaddon Road, but it's a bit of a long shot, I must say. But like I say, feel free to comment your thoughts down below. But yeah, if you did enjoy today's video, please do like and subscribe. And if you are a Barnsley fan, like I say, you've got a fantastic manager on your hands. Take good care of him. He's a top man. He's a top manager and top man off the pitch. What a legend he is. He's a Cheltenham boy at heart, and he'll always stay that way. It's as simple as that. Legend as a player, legend as a manager, like I say. And I think he leaves probably as the club's best ever manager. So yeah, every credit to him, and we pass him on all our thanks. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Have a class rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.